This call is from a federal prison.
Misunderstood, yeah. Judged by the cover. Misunderstood, yeah. From one to another.
Hi, my name is Tiffany. After doing 20 years in and out of prison, I'm home, and through my experience, I am sharing, and I'm hoping that I can help other people going through exactly what I went through from the inside out.
And I'm Lisa, and I'm her mother, and today we're here from the inside out. So let's get started. So today's topic is actually something that just came about very recently, very organically, and it's about healthcare and negligence, medical negligence, and medical malpractice. And the reason why it's a good time to bring that up is because Tiffany has been dealing with a lot of health issues, and she was always dealing with a ton of health issues, in and out. But lately she's really been going through it. So she just had a bunch of blood work done, and it doesn't look good. So we've had several conversations about how bad it is in there. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to bring some light to that subject. So, Tiffany, let's get started with that.
All right. So, yeah, she's right. I have some medical stuff going on. But the biggest one that I can think of, starting back as far as my prison time, I mean, because it's been so many years, but one thing that happened that was actually surprising, well, I was pregnant with Liam back at Carswell. All of a sudden, they wanted a poop sample from me. And I was like, why? Do you want to I'm pregnant. Sample. I never had to give a poop sample being pregnant before. And then they took it and they said, then they give me antibiotics. And they're like, you need to take these, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, for what? And then they're like, well, you contracted H. pylori. Well, H. pylori is a parasite, and it is through contaminated and soiled food, which means that the people in the kitchens, hands are dirty. They don't wash their hands, or they had soiled food, then they weren't washing the food properly, like the lettuce, tomatoes, the vegetables, veggie prep, basically. And
so what would prompt them to want to get a stool sample from you?
Exactly. So I guess that they were, there was an epidemic, and it was going around, like the system was going around the whole compound. People were getting H. pylori. So
that's crazy. So were they testing everybody at that point, or just
I
people
feel like
that
they were
pregnant?
testing the pregnant people?
Okay.
Well,
and that where you were at, that was the medical facility, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Carswell is a medical compound. Yeah.
So did they tell you at that point that you had it?
They actually, to be honest with you, they tried not to tell me. They tried to just give me antibiotics and told me I need antibiotics.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. And then I asked them, I'm like, why would I take antibiotics? I mean, I'm pregnant. So why are you just going to give me a random antibiotic? And so then they told me, well, you have H. pylori. And I freaked out because I was like, what is H. pylori? And because I had pyloric stenosis when I was a baby, which is another stomach issue. So automatically I was like, H. pylori.
I'm well aware of that.
Pylori, I know. Well, I'm telling the viewers.
You had it when you were 6 weeks old.
Right. So automatically, though, I thought that it was, like, obviously I knew it was a stomach thing because pylori or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, so.
And is that something that's bad for the fetus as well? Or did you not even know anything about it?
I don't know how bad it is for the fetus. I don't know. I'm sure it's not.
It's probably not good, though, because
it's a
everything
parasite
that circulates through you is going to circulate through the baby.
Yeah, it's a parasite. So I have this. So anyway, I took the antibiotics, and but I was sick a lot, so I was always throwing up, and so but it never got rid of it. So I got out. I continued to have health issues. My stomach I was always constipated, always having issues. I went in for a endoscopy and a colonoscopy. You remember?
I feel like every time you get out of prison,
I have stomach issues.
You go, always. So you're always having
because the food, everything's so bad there.
Yeah,
right. So,
and I remember the one time you got out too, you were obsessed with having to get
a cleanse.
What is that called? What was
I
it?
was gonna eat turpentine.
Yeah.
Do you
because,
remember?
Yeah, because you felt
Parasites.
so bad all the time.
I just had
like,
I
oh my
parasites. I
God.
just knew I did. I was gonna, and I'd seen you remember that turpentine. I was gonna eat a sugar cube of
It's like,
turpentine.
what the fuck is she doing?
And
I looked it up. I didn't know what turpentine was before that.
And you're like,
then I was
sissy,
like,
no.
yeah,
you're
we're
about
like,
to
are
eat
you
construction
sure?
material.
Yeah, I was gonna put it on a sugar cube,
Oh my God.
and CJ was like, dude. No.
Yeah.
You don't need to eat turpentine. But it says right here, this guy in some other country on YouTube.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd even.
Well, remember when I did the Candida cleanse? And do you remember
that's what it was, the Candida cleanse.
and my throat, my
yeah, everything swelled up, and you had to go to the hospital.
like 2 golf balls, my throat. I look like a freaking.
But the reason why,
Yeah.
because we could go off on that tangent.
What?
The reason why was because every time you get out of prison, you're so sick. All the time.
Yeah. So, anyways, I always have some kind of a stomach issue, big time. Yeah, I do. It's bad. And so, well, anyways, H. pylori wreaks havoc on all of your body. It doesn't just do one thing. If it's untreated, it goes everywhere. So, anyways, yeah, it's never been able to be completely treated. Well, I went back in this last time and I told them I was having stomach issues and I needed to be checked for H. pylori. I need to be checked for H. pylori. And they gave me a email that said they were too busy, they had too much going on with this subject matter, and that they were going to put me on the waiting list to be seen. And they never got to me. So, however, they were taking my blood, and they kept taking my blood for random reasons and never told me why. But I did get my medical records just right before I left because they never treated me for anything. I was getting rashes all over my face that they never quite reached the surface, but they were under my skin and they were bad. It was always a constant rash of some sort on my face.
And so when you did your own Dr. Tiffany research,
Esthetician Tiffany. Yep.
you came up with, what did you say that you thought you had from the rash? What was it? What?
Lupus.
Lupus, exactly. Because you had all of those symptoms. But yet you weren't going to the doctor because nobody was seeing you.
Right. They would not see me. Like they gave me like this antibiotic cream. And I kept telling them, I'm an esthetician. Like, I know about skin. If there's anything I know about, I know skin. This is not normal. Like,
Right.
I cannot even diagnose what's going. It's not acne. It's not eczema.
Because it was underneath the skin. It was like almost like a sunburn, right?
Exactly. It never came to the surface. It would just flare up. And it would be like right here. Mm-hmm. And I don't get acne even. So it was like, it was crazy. And so, anyway, so then I went to the doctor when I got out because, it was like all my hair is falling out on my sides of my head, like bad. Like all this is all falling out. You guys can't tell because I have my hair down, but
Plus, you're exhausted most of the time.
all the time. I'm always tired. I just get wiped
At the drop
out.
of a hat, you're exhausted.
Yep. And so I go and I get my blood drawn, and I'm going to talk to them today at 4:30 because there's several. I was looking at my lab work on LabCorp on the app, and it was several areas that were in the warning, like high levels of this, low levels of that. But it was warning, and it said it warning. So, and I did like my back a little bit, like, how you can cross-reference on Google. And some of them were saying parasite. Could be a parasitic infection. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then another one said E. coli somewhere in there.
And autoimmune, too.
And autoimmune. So if I still have H. pylori, then
that's a problem.
That's a huge problem because they did
Right.
not get rid of it. They've never got rid of it. I contracted it at Carswell and they've never got rid of it. And like I said, that can cause havoc on the rest of your system over years of not taking care of it.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's why it's such a serious issue. Apparently.
And it's an epidemic in there, and nobody's being treated for. Like, some people get treated for it, but then others that don't, and it's horrible.
So let's talk about the way you contract it. So you said that you can contract it because the food could be dirty or contaminated
food,
or maybe the workers are not, their gloves aren't clean, or
she should be wearing gloves.
And are they wearing gloves or no?
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
No. Some they're required to in some departments, but they don't. And let me tell you, there are rats in that kitchen.
Ew.
It is disgusting. So Tallahassee, for a long time, they had put rat traps up in the like by medical, up in like the gutters and like around the prison,
Wow.
And it smelled like carcass
Dead
when I first
rats?
got there because there were so many dead rats in the gutter
That's
system.
disgusting.
It was so many of them. So they were all also
Wow.
over by the kitchen, and you could smell them through the whole kitchen area. Yeah, it was horrific. It was horrific when I first got there, and it had been going on like that forever because Florida's really hot. So
And I've heard that even like you can even see like stuff crawling around in your food and stuff.
Right. Yeah. So there's
Like
they
maggots
call them
and
weevils
stuff?
and stuff like that. Weevils in like the oatmeal and the cereal. Like you eat your cereal and when you put water
That's
in
disgusting.
it, or when you put
You could see something-
That's when they start moving around when there's liquid in it.
That's gross. Is that like a magnet? A magnet. Is that like a magnet?
Yeah. Like I barely ever ate in the chow hall. Like it was like holiday meals. I would go to the chow hall, or if it was like French toast or something like that. But I didn't go to the chow hall to eat their food. And what do people do when they can't afford to not eat in the chow hall?
Well, they eat that.
They have to go eat in the chow hall, and they're not even helping people. And the fish. It says not
I
for
don't
human
even wanna
consumption.
even.
They have
What?
tilapia, and it says on the box, not for human consumption.
What?
Swear
No.
to God.
No.
At every compound, their fish, the tilapia, says not for human consumption.
Swear.
I swear to on everything on I love.
I want a picture of that.
Yeah.
I want to fact check that shit because that's disgusting.
Not for human consumption.
That's
And it's
awful.
been like that my whole life that I've been in the system. Yeah, and people
What
eat
is it for then? For like bait when you go fishing or something?
Yeah, or to feed. I felt like it was probably to feed inside like big lakes. You know what I mean? You know how like
Yeah.
reservoirs and stuff how they have.
That's sick.
And that's facts.
So
That's a fact.
yeah. So I mean, you have stories of friends as well that have had some issues.
Like a friend of mine just talked to me today, and she was like, Tiffany, she's like, I have a UTI. But I already knew she had a UTI because she'd been telling me for the past 2 weeks that she had a UTI.
Yeah.
But, at Tallahassee, we always self-medicate ourselves. Like, if you have something wrong with you, you go from cube to cube, and you're like, hey, do you have any antibiotics? Hey, do you have any antibiotics? Until you get one.
Why is that?
Because the medical staff does not. They don't help you. They don't help you. They give you a cream or tell you to drink more water or an ibuprofen when you're like really in pain. So she finally got to the doctor after she dropped her cop out. Like she dropped a cop out and then she'd also went for sick
What is
call.
a cop out?
It's for medical.
Okay.
Right. Or medical or anything. It could be for anything. A cop out's for
Gotcha.
anything. You drop an online, whatever, and that request to whatever you want to go. So she dropped one to medical and she also went in a sick call. So she went in a sick call today and this morning, and they told her that yes, she did in fact have a UTI and that they were going to prescribe her antibiotics and she would get them between 5 to 7 business days.
For a UTI.
For a UTI. And I don't know
between
women
5
out
and
there,
7
but
days.
any woman that's ever had a UTI, we know how painful that is.
Yeah.
And 5 to 7 business days. Yeah.
Cam, our version of Jamie here, just pulled up a chat GPT about tilapia.
Yeah.
This is, can you read that, Tiffany, or you want me to read it?
Type of freshwater fish. Yeah, I need you to read it because I can't see.
Tilapia, a type of freshwater fish, is sometimes included in prison meals,
Right.
but in some instances, the fish labeled as not for human consumption may be used due to low cost. The fish may come from sources such as surplus stock that's been improperly stored or transported,
Yeah.
or from farms that have questionable practices regarding water quality and fish health.
And that is
Wow.
straight from Chat GPT?
That's
Yep.
real.
Let's see. He just highlighted another thing. Contamination. The fish might. No, I can.
Might
hardly
have been
read.
exposed. Might have been exposed to unsafe levels of pollutions, heavy metals, or harmful bacteria during farming or transportation.
She might have better eyes than me.
I don't, though. I can't. I can see, but I can't. Go ahead.
If I was sitting there, I'd be squinting.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
good thing we put Tiffany on that side. Sorry, Mom.
What are you
Yeah.
saying? What are you
Sorry.
saying? What are you trying to
What did it
say?
say? Important headlining of storage. It might have been improperly handled, leading to degradation. Is that what that says?
Yeah.
Degradation, or contamination of the product. It's disgusting.
That's terrible. And people eat it. People eat
They
it
have
'cause
to. They don't
Yeah.
have any. Oh, and then just recently, like that people, we used to be able to just go in and be like, I want a vegetarian, I'm a vegetarian, to get just like the peanut butter or whatever. But now if it's not on your card that says she's a vegetarian, now they changed it where you can't even go now and get a vegetarian tray unless you are like a vegetarian, you know? So like
That's
you don't,
crazy.
yeah. So you have to get that shit.
Well, so where do you get the card from?
No, not a card. It's just on your
On your
like,
intake.
Yeah, exactly. It's on your intake. Yeah, like when you go. For
But you
intake.
can go back to your intake and tell
only
them.
every 6 months. I want to say, can you change it every 6 months?
God.
Yeah, that fish is disgusting. Is that what a tilapia is? That fish I was just looking at. I didn't even know if it was real.
I thought tilapia was like the eggs, isn't it?
No,
that's caviar.
Caviar. I was,
Oh, okay.
I was going to say tapioca.
That's tapioca. That's tapioca.
Go get
No,
some
but I
tilapia.
thought that for some reason I thought that
Caviar.
like it was not even a real like tilapia was like a.
No, tilapia
Like a
is
man-made
tilapia is a
fish.
white fish. It's a white fish that doesn't. It's not really fishy.
Is it a bottom feeder?
No, it's a white fish. It's just a fish.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
disgusting.
a super mild fish. Like a lot of people that don't like fish
like tilapia.
can eat tilapia because it's not a fishy fish.
It is fishy as shit in that cafeteria.
Ew. That's so gross.
It's so gross, and for whatever reason, I
Not
don't.
because it's a women's prison. either.
I know.
No, not
God,
because it's a women's prison.
Why did you say that?
Somebody had to say it.
I know, because I was thinking it.
No, not because it's in a women's prison, right? Hey, but those girls from the cafeteria, though, when people are like, when they want fish, they'll be bringing bags of them home right in there,
Ooh.
Ew.
right?
Just
Okay,
blend
let's
right in.
Let's
In the
not
little-
get crazy
in the
now.
red snapper.
Ew. Let's not get crazy now.
We need some comical relief here and there.
Right,
Red
that part.
snapper?
That red snapper. Ew, God,
That's
so gross.
disgusting.
Anyway, so yeah, that's how they. So that's just one. There's right there. You know what I mean? Not for human consumption.
What? Look up beef in prison.
It's all byproduct.
Is it
even beef?
Is it like dog?
Ew. But it
I
sure
mean, you
does
never
look like
know.
it. Prison food
Might be
may
horse
include
meat.
beef.
What? Horse meat.
horse meat.
Yeah, horse meat.
Yeah, it
I
could
didn't
be.
mean dog.
Right.
Horse meat.
Oh, it is. I think it is not horse, but I think it is just like leftover shit. It's like just like the leftover. That's what it looks like.
Yummy. Is that what it looks like frozen or when it looks like it
Frozen.
just
Frozen.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about so we don't forget. I don't want to talk about. I do want to talk about when you was it over COVID when you got super sick? I think you had COVID.
It was
when you
ja-
fell on the floor and they
that
Narcaned
was
you.
Yeah, so Carswell,
crazy.
When
Listen to this
Carswell
story.
finally, so it was like the compounds when they went down one by one. It was like
For COVID.
COVID, yeah, they called it the House of Horrors because it literally Carswell, the House of Horror. You could literally look that up, Cam.
Oh, yeah, because
and it will
Carswell
show you
was the
Carswell
one-
House of Horrors.
I remember
for COVID.
I remember.
It will
looking-
literally say that on the
because you kept telling me
Telegram.
that something was going on, and I was in my own little world. I'm like, "There's nothing going on, Tiffany," because I thought
Yeah,
you're
I'm like, there's something
you're
going on
losing
out
your
there.
mind, is what I thought.
You said that they got the news for COVID before we did, right?
Shit, well, they
We
were
did.
sick. They
Yeah,
were
you
all
guys did.
sick.
I was in the feds. Yeah,
Right,
we-
right.
No, we
And
were
that's what
not
she's-
sick yet.
Oh, you weren't sick
No,
yet.
we just have time to watch the news.
I got you. Yeah, she kept telling me that there was like,
Yeah.
she was like, "Mom, the world is coming. The world is coming to an end." I'm like, "What are you
and
talking
I just had
about?"
Liam, so I was like, "Oh my god, dude, something's going on."
But then
Like,
that was before any of us like really on this side.
nobody
were even
knew
knowing about
anything.
that.
It was on CNN, and it was just showing the airports that were something was going on through the airport.
And we didn't watch CNN. Then.
No, well, and just in in general at that
Still
time.
don't.
I
Still
mean,
don't.
Just to
people still watch
clarify.
CNN regardless. But back then, it was a
Or
little bit
Fox.
not so crazy as it is now. But yeah,
They're all
so it was
dumb.
showing like a death toll and everything on CNN.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so all the compounds slowly went down. The compounds didn't get it right away. The world was getting it more than we were. It was brought into the compound by an officer.
Right,
You know?
that's what you said.
So anyway, so when the first day that it actually hit the compound, we'd already had girls that died that were pregnant on the compound, but they would lie to us and tell us.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah, they would. So people would die.
Why?
And then
Why?
They would,
Let's get back to that.
COVID?
women, the pregnant women, yeah. The people get sick and go to the hospital, and then they would go to the real hospital, because if we have the hospital within the prison, then they have the hospital.
But there was this
JPS.
one girl in particular that I remember that died. Why'd she die?
She was pregnant.
And
she got COVID, and it killed her. She died.
And the baby?
I think the baby died too. Well, maybe the baby survived.
No,
I
the
can't
baby
remember.
survived.
The baby survived.
Wow.
Yeah. So the baby survived. But it happened. Several people started dying in the compound.
Okay.
And so, especially like women that were on hospice, older women,
Right.
So, so what happened? Oh, yeah. So finally, it was like July 1st. Our compound finally went on lockdown. After all these things that they were doing to try to keep us from getting COVID, it was finally cat was out the bag. It was on the compound. And that day, just so happened that I apparently had COVID and didn't know it. And it was count time, 4 p.m. count. And I was holding myself up on my bunk. And I looked at my roommate and I was like, I do not feel good. I do not feel well. I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I had my arm linked over the bed. And then all of a sudden I went boom and I hit my head. Ding, ding. They said that my head sounded like a bowling ball hitting the ground. Bing, bing. My friend, this was in Carswell, the dorm's 300 and something women in one dorm, right? And it's huge.
Concrete floor, right?
Yeah, and the concrete floor, they could hear me across the dorm. They said that that I kicked my shoes right out of my shower slides and that my toes were blue. My toes were blue, my lips were blue. And so, some of the girls thought I was dead, literally. And so when they came and they got me, I guess they wheeled me off in a wheelchair and I was literally like this.
They thought you had overdosed.
Then they thought that I overdosed on something.
Yeah.
Right. And so I get to medical and I was unconscious. I didn't even know what the day was. I didn't know who the president was. I didn't know anything. I didn't know shit. It was that bad. But I did know that when I was conscious, they hit me with Narcan. Not just once, but twice. And when the paramedics got there, they said, did you just give her Narcan? And then, while she was conscious, and I was conscious enough to say, yeah, they did. I just shook my head. And then they said, you could have killed her. You could have killed her.
But they gave it to you twice, right?
Not just once, but 2 times. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so they rushed me to the hospital, and then they still didn't know I had COVID yet. Nobody knew I had COVID.
In all fairness, though, let's just be the devil's advocate on that one. Is that a common thing to do because there's so much drug stuff going on?
There's no heroin on that compound.
Okay.
There's no opiates on that compound.
Yeah, because I didn't know.
They have never ever had one.
That's not the common thing to do is to do that then. So that was not normal practice.
No,
to do
in
that.
the women's compounds, there's no.
Yeah.
There's
again, medical negligence, incompetency.
In the federal women's system where I've been the whole time, I've never seen opiates on the compound. The closest thing to an opiate I've ever seen is that there was fentanyl on the K2 paper.
Have you seen?
But that was not back then.
Have you seen Narcan being given to anybody?
No.
Wow.
Never.
So why did they decide to do that to you?
I don't know. I do not know.
Because you were really sick. When I talked to you, you were still out of it.
Yeah. It took me months to get my head. They said that I had something concussion. It was called, can't remember what it was called. But anyways, it's where
that's why you can't remember
exactly. And your concussion, it continues. They were seeing me for that. They saw me 2 times for it. Because I said,
what's that
I couldn't
thing called
articulate
again?
my words right. I couldn't think straight. My brain was always fuzzy. Oh yeah. It was bad. It was,
it's that thing that athletes get. What is it called?
Yeah, exactly. What is it called?
What is that called, Siege? What that athletes get? The head stuff?
Concussion just lasts longer than...
I'm not sure, but it turns into really bad mental health, depression, and
Yeah, and so...
God, why can't I remember it?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yes, exactly. But it was definitely really bad. I wouldn't even pay attention to what was going on around me. Huh? What?
Jamie Cam is pulling that up.
Post-concussion syndrome?
No.
Yeah, post-concussion. Is that...
No,
it's after.
It's that one that the athletes get. What is it?
No, that's exactly what he just said. Was something like post-concussion syndrome. PCS, when you have it for longer than you're supposed... When you had it. I don't know if it's post... Mood changes, sensitivity to light.
Traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, but that's not what the
TBI.
doctors called it when I saw them.
TBI.
It's a traumatic brain injury. That's what it's called.
Right, but this, what the doctor said was something like post, whatever the hell it is, when it's prolonged concussion. It just keeps going.
Right.
You know, like I wouldn't even, like literally people would be running to their rooms because they called the day room to go in and I wouldn't even be noticing what was going on around me. I was like, what's going on? They're like, they just called us to ourselves, you know? It was crazy. It was bad.
So let's talk about some of the other cases that you've heard of, like that one lady that was super sick. She had cancer or lupus or something. What was it?
Well, we didn't even finish saying what the rest of that was real quick. What happened?
It looks like it is PCS, by the way.
Yeah. So I went to the hospital and I came back and we had to go on quarantine for 14 days at that time.
Oh, that's right.
So I go on quarantine and as I'm in quarantine, I lose my taste and my smell. Right. And all my friends are going to segregation because they, at that time, when you got COVID, they would send you, medical was sending you to the medical, or they were sending you to medical and you had to be in rooms with other people with COVID. So I finally, at that point, after I seen all my friends go through and I was like, what are they going back there for? And then they said, like, for what the symptoms were. And I was like, I have that. My friend was like, you're not exempt. You need to get tested. You're like, all of us got COVID. You have to have COVID. So it turns out that because when I went to the hospital, they had told me that I was going to heart failure, not because of the Narcan, but because of my potassium. It depleted my potassium level.
Yeah, that's right.
So low that I almost went into cardiac arrest.
That's right.
That was why I went to the hospital. Right.
Did they give you potassium supplements after that? For your
for
heart
like
stuff?
a week, and then they quit giving them to me.
Right, exactly.
Right,
and
so-
you didn't have enough you didn't have enough.
No,
and
right.
you've always had
Potassium.
this issue ever since then. Even
And I still have potassium issues now.
Yeah.
So, so after about 8 days, they found out that I had COVID. So I had COVID, but there was nothing, they never treated me. It was like literally like poo-pooed it as if nothing had ever happened. But it did happen, and it was serious. And it's exactly, you were right. When you brought that up earlier today, yep, and I forgot about that. But yeah, Carswell was horrible. Yep. And literally, like, that's supposed to be the medical compound, and it's trash. Like, an inmate was choking one time, right? One of the INAs, which is an inmate nurse, was supposed to be like a helper for the other nurses, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, and the INA was like, hey, she's choking. And the nurse never came because she thought that she was lying.
What?
And the lady the inmate passed away.
What?
The inmate passed away and died because she was choking.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
And nobody ever knows this.
Nope.
Nobody ever knows this.
No, not happened to Carswell.
It's never public.
I don't know if
news.
was on the news or not either, but yeah, Yep.
How old was she?
I don't remember.
I mean,
middle aged or whatever.
But not like old.
And it happens all the time where people get like they find out when they get out of prison that they had cancer, and that they have like 3 months left to live, and they would do a shot or whatever you call it. Is that what you call it? Incident report, a shot.
Yeah, incident report. Mm-hmm. And they wouldn't go to the doctor, or they would go to the doctor and they wouldn't do anything about it.
What do you mean?
Like
a shot
people
for
that
what?
Then they would ask to go to medical, and then they wouldn't do anything about that.
Right, but they don't get an incident report. But if they ask to go to medical,
well, that's
they get
what I meant. Not an incident report. I'm saying
yes,
whatever you called it when you
got in trouble.
No, that's not it. When you have to give a piece of paper or whatever to go to medical. What is that called?
Disposition?
No, a cop out. You mean, or
that's
sick call?
That's what I meant.
Yep. Okay,
that's what I meant. Don't give me that look.
No, I'm not. No. I was trying to understand. I know,
but it's the look.
What look? No, I was just trying to understand.
What?
That's all I was trying to remember. I was just trying to think of what you were saying because you said a shot, so I was thinking.
I know.
A shot.
I got the name mixed up.
Yeah, no. I was. Yeah. That's what you're saying. I know. Cop out and shot. Yeah.
I was ready to join in on some Trivial Pursuit right there.
Right.
All right, let me jump in.
I'm like, it's like
disposition.
Right. Yeah. Right. 21 questions. Wait. What is it?
That.
It looked like a piece of paper.
I was trying to use the
Essay.
slang.
I know. It was fine. I was just trying to catch it.
terminology.
I was just trying to pick up what you were throwing down.
I know.
I was working on it, but you were doing good.
We made it, guys.
Right. That one.
Yeah, cop
It's
out,
like
sick call,
Pictionary.
request form.
Yeah.
I'm like, but look.
Illustration.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway,
Right.
so
But yeah, so-
that person though, it's very common that
Yeah.
if somebody's sick, they slip a paper.
Yeah, drop a sick call.
That
Right.
but nothing's ever done.
Well, they'll see you, but they don't do
But they don't do anything about it.
Exactly.
So
I mean,
what
you
if-
just spent $4 or $3
Yeah.
for them to do nothing. Like the UA. Or not the UA, but the urinary tract infection.
Right. That's awful.
Five
What
to
if
seven
you have a
business
terminal
days.
illness? What do they do about that? Obviously, that person gets out of jail and dies in 3 months.
Which is so sad because I've known a couple people that it's happened to, and it's so sad.
That's so horrible. I mean, if they find out that they have cancer, are they allowed to have chemo? Do they have chemo?
Oh yeah, they do. Okay.
Oh.
Logan, this lady, it's a Tallahassee. Remember I told you about her? She has lupus and
Yeah,
all kinds of shit.
that one. That's what I was trying to-
Right. Yep. And they would give her injections, and they didn't up the dose injections or even lower them. They just continued to give her the same injections every single week. Nothing changes. And she wants to be on the show. That woman wants to be on the show. She was like, I will tell everything.
Right.
It's horrible. She would come back, like, they wouldn't even give her injections right. They wouldn't give her medication to help ease the pain later. It was bad. It was so sad. Yeah. I mean, she was constantly sick. Okay, another thing. There's a girl. She had granular annularis. Anyways, it's where you have circle discs that start popping up on your body. They're like just the shape of a disc, and they're like a rash, but it's not, you know?
Kind of like ringworm?
Looks just like ringworm, but it's until you rule it out, then it's not, you know? Anyways, well, they're giving her methotrexate, which is a form of chemotherapy.
For a rash?
Exactly. And I told her, I said, that's not normal. And it's not doing anything for her. Her skin looks exactly the same. And I told her, I said, they gave me methotrexate when I had an ectopic pregnancy.
Shouldn't that be like topical?
Well,
like,
I mean, they can give you some stuff to help, like steroids, you know, so to stop your skin from, but not
That's
methotrexate.
insane.
Like I told her, you have a lawsuit, girl. They've had you on methotrexate for months. A form of chemotherapy for a rash.
Wow.
That
That's
you should see
crazy.
a dermatologist for. You should not be, these people should not be prescribing you anything for a skin condition like that. You know?
That's awful.
It's crazy.
And that's like their only choice. Or
It's until they send them out to like a
'Cause they wouldn't
outside
know.
dermatologist.
yeah, and your experience with dermatology, but most people have no idea.
No.
They wouldn't even know to question something like that.
Right. And I question anything with the skin, but I thank God I have that little bit of knowledge, you know, like I would have to tell you to throw your dick around. You have to be like, I am an esthetician, so don't tell me something's going on with me that's not, because I could tell you right now that you're wrong. You know, you can't just throw your little bit of education that you don't have at me.
God forgive. God, you know what? Never mind. God forgives.
God forgives. God forgives. But I would tell people that was skin shit all the time because I did a lot of facials in there, and I would see things on people's face, and I would be like, hey, do you go in the sun all the time?
Yeah, you help people with their abscesses with potatoes.
Not in prison.
Didn't you do that outside of or in prison too?
No, I never. Oh, yeah, skim?
Like the potato
No,
thing.
the
No,
potato.
that was just something I learned out here.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, I just heard that if you put a potato on something like that, that's what I was telling you.
That was
Speaking
just
for
a
a
friends
friend.
and family deal.
Yeah, speaking for
Yeah.
a friend.
Yeah, it was a friends and family deal. Yep.
Friends and
whatever.
family deal. It's an inside joke.
So I was like, hey, put the potato on that. And then Mom, you said you'd heard of it too. And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
But really,
Wasn't anybody in this room.
Right.
No,
well,
for
I
sure,
think
definitely
really,
not.
what I think really like works is that, what's it called?
What?
Castor oil, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Castor oil is like the magic
true,
elixir for everything.
Yep. But no, but I did help
Makes you look
people in the
20 years
system, though.
younger.
I did tell people all the time, like, hey, have you had that mole looked at? Because it doesn't, I mean, doesn't look right. In my opinion, I would go have it looked at. Not that they're going to do anything for you here, but, you know. definitely get that checked out.
Yeah. So, in your opinion, as far as healthcare goes, have you experienced in the 20 years of In and Out that it's very negligent? I mean, do you think that this is an issue?
It's
Do
a
you think
constant
that it's
issue.
a huge issue.
It's one of the biggest issues within the prison system is their medical.
And what kind of awareness is there out there? Like, do you know of anybody that talks about it?
No.
Does anybody talk about it politically?
No,
or
they don't.
socially?
No,
or
ever. I've never
anything?
heard it. Never.
So, do you guys feel like you're treated differently?
Completely. They don't.
And that's-
and they treat us differently. Like the medical staff treat you differently.
Yeah.
Like as if you're full of shit. Like you have to be a fat person to get a bottom bunk when you're hurt. Like literally. Like if you have problems like with your back or whatever, but if you're young and you're not fat at Tallahassee, the doctor will tell you you are not heavy enough to have a bottom bunk.
What?
Unless you have seizures. It's crazy. Oh yeah, like the doctor.
Well, I mean, if you're a large person, it's kind of hard to get on a top bunk.
But if you are hurt and you're skinny,
Sure.
you should be able to have a bottom bunk. If you are
Totally.
literally,
I mean, I feel like
hurts-
everybody should be allowed to have a bottom bunk.
Well, yeah, definitely that would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. But if you have an issue,
And talking about weight, I hate that word fat. Talking about weight, that's just another issue. Just health, food, nutrition in general.
No,
in
yeah, there's
prison is
not- it's
terrible. So
not-
that's just a whole nother topic.
to have good food in there, that's
to
like
talk
a
about.
luxury.
Yeah.
They don't have good food, even if you buy it on commissary.
that and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Those are
Dublin was the only compound that had good food, like on commissary alone. I
Which
heard.
one? What?
Dublin. Yeah, Dublin used to have a lot of great things to it. Dublin was like one of the best compounds in the BOP.
Yeah, just aside from the sex scandal, it's great.
Yeah, aside from that, aside from the sex scandal, but yeah, aside from that, the compound was really nice. You had your
So
own, you and your bunkie had your own little room.
Double-edged sword,
They had,
yin yang.
huh?
Double-edged sword, yin yang.
Exactly, double-edged sword yin yang. Yeah, but
So how far in are we on this topic?
We're roughly 35 minutes.
35 minutes?
Yep.
yeah, we're good. Why?
I was just checking.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so the negligence is, it's really bad. And especially, I don't know, Carswell, for being the medical compound, was just horrible too. There was at one point they used to perform surgeries on people at that compound.
They what?
They would like perform surgeries on people at Carswell many years
with
ago.
real surgeons.
Yeah, like, the people, but all the people that work there, they're all people that have like,
What year was this?
I don't remember.
Like roughly.
Ask chat.
Okay,
What
we'll
year
look it
did Carswell, FCI Carswell perform surgeries on inmates at the
Yeah, but is that a
compound?
bad thing?
Yeah.
Why?
People would lose arms and shit. Like,
Oh, shit.
It was horrible. It was horrible. They used to, it was,
Weren't they real surgeons?
Sounds
Yeah.
like American Horror Story.
Right.
It is. They call it Carswell House of Horrors, real live. I didn't make that up. It's really called House of Horrors.
Did it just pull it up? So it was only the 10s?
Yes,
Wow.
security
That was
over
really recent.
years for its handling of medical care for the incarcerated individuals, particularly in regard to surgeries performed by the inmates or on inmates.
It sounds like something that would happen maybe in like the early 1900s or 1800s.
Yeah, but
Right.
it wasn't though.
It was 2010s.
It's fucked up. It was bad. It was bad. They killed people in there. Like
That's
they literally
insane.
Carswell. It was like an experimental compound where they used to just
Oh, wow.
fuck people up.
Wow.
Not even joking. It was not a joke when I said that. I'm talking.
No, I know.
back, you know?
But what I was saying
Yeah.
was, weren't they real
Of course.
surgeons?
No, I knew. Yeah, I know. I think
Not
that
like
they were, but
not like just a regular doctor or nobody that didn't have a medical surgery.
I feel like the people
degree.
that worked at
They were just
Cars-
practicing.
Right. No, I hear you and I agree. I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm telling you, like, the people that work there are doctors that were like fired
They
from.
were misfits.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say.
Cam
Yeah.
just pulled
You
something
got the
up.
word there, Mom.
Misfit.
Misfit. Mhm.
Yeah, he just pulled another.
Yeah, they were misfits. Like, fucked up.
Yeah.
What does it say? 2017 report, American Civil, Liberties Union revealed allegations that between 2006 and 2010, dozens of women at FCR Carswell had been sterilized.
Sterilized through tubal ligation procedures.
Right.
Tubulization.
It
Yep.
says tubal ligation.
Yep. These surgeries were reportedly performed without the necessary informed. What does that say?
You can't see.
Necessary informed
Consent. Yeah,
consent.
without consent. Like they would do these things without consent.
And in some cases, without the woman fully understanding the long-term effects of
Yes.
the procedure. Some women claimed that they were coerced into having the surgery,
Right.
or that it was presented as a routine or necessary procedure, leading to public outcry and calls for reform.
What?
Horrible.
What?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay. Did they shut down this facility?
I was there. I had Liam there. I had Liam at JPS, thank God. But yeah, the freaking OBGYN was a quack. Wow. Yeah, it was crazy. Just hearing that pissed me off just now.
Where's that doctor at?
At Carswell, where I was at.
What, you said she was a quack?
Yeah, she was a retard.
Like,
Don't use that word.
Sorry.
Like, how
she
so?
was horrible.
yeah, what was her? Because you
You can
dealt
bleep
direct.
that up if you want.
We won't bleep that out.
Right?
So you worked directly with her.
Yeah, she was my OBGYN while I was pregnant with Liam, and she told me that Liam had Down syndrome, remember?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
he
terrible.
didn't.
I remember too.
And he
because
didn't.
I had to prepare myself
Right.
Yeah.
to take a Down syndrome baby.
I know, you remember you're like,
which
it's gonna
of
be
course
okay, we're
we
gonna
would
deal
love
with it.
him no matter what.
Right.
But it was stressful.
So then we started looking up things. You were like, this is what they say about this. I mean, like,
oh my gosh.
literally.
But you know what though? You were cool with it, right?
I was.
You were so cool with it
I was
right off
gonna
the
be
bat.
okay.
You were
It was
like,
gonna be fine.
It's my baby. But yeah, and then fast forward, he just has these
Big
gigantic eyes too, like E.T.
Yeah, they said he does not have Down syndrome whatsoever.
He did look like a little turtle when he was a baby.
Oh my goodness
baby.
gracious.
I know.
He's
I
always been cute.
mean,
He was so damn cute. Oh my God.
and the
He got
nurses,
those little lips and the nose.
Yeah, and the nurses would be
Right,
saying,
perfect.
oh my God, he's so beautiful, and I would look at him like,
Those eyes, though.
and I didn't know what those eyes were going to grow into. Like,
Right. I know. They were so
they were
big.
just when his eyelids were closed,
They
was
were
just
all
a bulge.
eyelids. I
Just a
know.
bulge.
So cute.
So
oh my
cute.
God, I know.
So
I remember
cute.
in that ultrasound.
Yeah, that doctor's still there.
Yeah, I can't remember her damn name, but yeah, she was horrific though.
Why did they say that he had Down syndrome? What
Because
was it?
they had my gestation date
Wrong.
incorrect. Yeah, so
Even after an ultrasound, right?
no, it was
Oh, you
after
had-
the ultrasound, but it was the gestation date was wrong. Then when they took me in to see the specialist, then they were like, "This baby's fine. Look at his nose and his eyes,
Right,
and
right.
his chin. There's nothing Down syndrome about that face." He was like, "The profile of that face is like perfect."
His eyes
I
might be
"What are
his
those,
eyes might be
though?"
bulging,
I was like,
but-
"But what are those?" And they were like,
Those are
"Those are
his
his eye sockets." I go, "What?" Those are fucking eye sockets.
just like mama's.
He's gonna be able to read this TV so much better than any of us.
Oh, definitely. With this little pink, pink, pink.
So cute. So
He
cute.
is so cute, though. Definitely cute. He grew into those eyes
Yeah.
and his little dimple. But anyways,
So what else can you
Yeah.
pull up on medical malpractice or medical negligence?
I mean, the subject goes on and on, though. It's
I
like-
know. I mean, I'd love to hear another crazy story because it's never public. Nobody ever hears about it.
No, it's never public. I guess apparently if the person does not die on the compound, then it doesn't show up on the death tolls of the people that have died. So like, people
Oh,
can
so if they go to the hospital and
then
die,
they
it doesn't show
and
up.
then they don't have to report it on as like their death toll.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. So Cam, he did pull up another one here.
From Carswell?
This is just in general.
Just in
United States
general.
prisons and how they're built and structured. I'll read it. So a lot of I didn't know this, but it says 1/3, 32% of state and federal prisons are located within 3 miles of federal Superfund sites. So they're areas where they dump contaminated waste. Over 32% of prisons are located near these
What?
and/or are on top of them. Which,
What?
This is
helps
true.
explain why like the water and even they're saying that there's a ton of radon inside of these prisons.
Yeah.
Sitting on top of these.
Oh my
Which is
God,
crazy.
that's so crazy that you just said that, because I used to say there was a hole in the ozone layer above Wasika because everybody's skin would get melasma. Melasma, for anybody who doesn't know that, it's when your skin is, it's like a mask, an uneven mask of color, discoloration on your skin. That's called melasma. They call it the pregnancy mask.
Oh, it's a dark
And it's a
pigmentation,
hormonal,
right?
yeah, your hormones change, and then you get, that
I remember
dark
that.
mask.
Yeah.
A lot of women have that mask over their faces, over all the different
because
compounds.
of what?
And
Because of what? Why?
Well, I believe it's not just from your hormones. I believe that
No.
it's because of I thought because maybe the way the ozone layer was, because Wasika stunk so bad that we called it Wastinka. And it was just this horrific smell that would wake me up out of I would literally wake up out of a dead sleep and start yelling in the dorm. What is that smell?
Wow.
Oh my God. It was horrible.
Wow. Okay. So that's a problem.
And it was because there was a waste management and a bird's eye compost, whatever. And yeah, thank you. What did you say? The radiation, or what did you say there was?
Yeah, I'll find the radon.
Radon.
Yeah, right
Radon.
here. In 2018, a court found that a Connecticut prison was knowingly and recklessly exposing its incarcerated population to alarming levels of radon in violation of the constitutional right to an environment free from toxic substances.
I wonder how high the radon was.
I know.
Because as a realtor out here, I know that that's a big problem. EPA does not like anything. I mean, 4.0 is the highest, and they don't even like that. So, wow.
Let's see if I can find the levels. The other thing that alarmed me too, because I know we were talking about the water earlier, but for instance, in Massachusetts, their water was like dark black, and it was like really bad smelling, and it also would clog the filters, and they found out that it had manganese in it. Or manganese in it, which I guess it's a type of metal sludge that can lead to neurological disorders, as well as in Texas, there was elevated levels of arsenic in the water.
In Texas, where, Carswell?
It just says a Texas facility.
Why is that
Let's take a look
okay?
into it.
I was at TDC.
Why is that okay?
I don't know.
I want to know where that was at, because that's where I was at. I remember TDC, we were talking about lawsuits.
That's insane. I mean, literally.
Right.
I'm speechless. Like, I don't understand how that's okay. I do not understand that. Because people make mistakes, they go to prison.
And then we get to be,
they aren't treated with the
torture.
same.
It is. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it's
makes me
basically
sad.
saying,
But there are laws against torture.
That makes me so sad to think that, like, that's exactly what they were doing. They were
it's
just
like you're throwaway people. It's
Right.
literally like you're throwaway people. It doesn't matter.
Is that
Like-
technically a crime against humanity?
I mean, I would say.
You would think it would be, but they don't give a shit because we were inmates, and that, like, we.
But according to the law,
God, your breath stinks, Lita.
I would say that. I would say
yeah,
100%.
like if you hired a lawyer,
Yeah, which
you would
I talked to
potentially
one.
have a case.
I mean, that's just crazy.
I know, that's what I was saying.
Like, I
Was it
hate
in
to
Texas?
keep on.
What part of
I hate
Texas?
to bring up like dogs or animals. Animals get treated better, but
Right.
because animals, are loving and kind, and we should treat them well. But human beings need to be treated.
But if you're a sex offender, you'll get treated good.
No, they still eat the same shit, and drink the same water, and they still live on top of radon and
Right, but God.
So like that question about the Connecticut prison,
Yeah.
the real estate thing with 4, it was at 6.6.
Okay. I mean, I have a
would you
house
say that
right.
word?
I have a house right now that's at like 34. So,
Oh, that's bad.
I mean, 6.6. It's not good, but it's
Yeah.
not the worst.
No.
I'm sure that the brown black sludge water is a bigger issue for sure.
34. That's scary.
And you know what's crazy about that is the radon. It's a health and safety issue, and it's really it's not that big of a deal to mitigate it either. Like, they should be doing that. I wonder if they have. Wonder how that black water is now too.
Oh,
Ew.
Yeah, it's a hard.
Yeah, the
silver
camps.
metal. That's what manganese is. It's like
Wow.
it's a silver gray metal found in so it's found in oxygen. But yeah, it's a metal, so it was in their water in like a sludgy form.
Some compounds they tell you like if Phoenix and I think Marietta, I don't know, but the camps, like their water comes from a pond or a lake or whatever, a little whatever, like that's their water supply, and they're supposed to be able to treat the water, and like it's disgusting. It's exactly what you said. Like in Arizona, apparently, the water was so horrific. Like they were literally told, "Do not drink the water." They would give them bottles of water. It was that bad.
Yeah, so there's literally, they said that. So in Arizona prisons, water is smelling foul and causing rashes, testing positive for a petroleum, in parentheses, petroleum product. Doesn't say what petroleum product it was, but it was in there. A petroleum product.
Right. That's crazy. And
And
they
they
only
give
give you
that
like
to you,
two
and they give that
bottles.
to you to drink. Well, even if you don't drink it, if you're showering with it, that's still a problem.
Exactly, and you're showering with that shit.
Yeah, it's
you are showering
going in
with
your
it.
skin.
Yeah, disgusting. They definitely have a lawsuit they could file on them for that, right?
I mean,
Will they, though?
there's so many problems.
Not a lot of people, but like people do file lawsuits, but I feel like there's so many compounds.
Honestly, the lawsuit thing is that's a whole nother animal. What needs to be done is it needs to be corrected.
Up completely, but it's not going to be corrected.
All of it needs to be corrected.
But it won't be corrected until someone brings it to the attention.
Well,
Until more
sure,
people
and
bring
we
it to the
are.
attention.
And we are, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
That's what this channel's about.
Right, bring awareness, of course.
Right.
Yeah,
So
of
that
course. They
this
definitely.
stuff can change because
Yeah.
it's just horrific. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, that's like a thing about the show. We need to have resources for people to be able to contact.
Well,
maybe when they are.
and the awareness is
It's a
going
big deal.
to bring light to the people that are going to be able to make a difference there.
For sure.
Like we can't
For
do
sure.
anything about that.
For sure, but it would be nice to have
the
resources
right
on
people,
hand.
the government, can do that.
For sure. Yes, definitely.
Absolutely. What do you think, Lido? Lido,
His brother's kicking.
you napping over there?
Kicking.
You napping? Oh my gosh, he was mad at you the other day because you didn't come home that night. You spent the night at your friends, and did you know that, Siege? She spent the night at her friends, and then he slept with you that night. And then,
He was acting a little funky.
well, no, then the next night he was in her bed, and then
Like I got home and he barked me in the face. Just kept barking in my face.
like he was
where were you?
yelling at her.
Yeah, literally. And then I would like walk off. He'd like follow me. Like his eyes like bulging out of his head, and I'm like, "Whoa, okay."
But
I'm
then
back.
she went to bed, and then he got off her bed, and then barked. She said that she heard him bark, which means that
And he jumped on your bed and
He
then didn't
wanted
come back
me
to
to-
my bed until early in the
and
morning when you woke
he
up.
slept in my bed all night. Like he's a dick.
He was
Yeah,
mad.
he's a little person.
Yeah, he is.
He like lets you know.
Oh my god. Yeah, because he like laid with me while I was trying to sleep off and
Funny.
my headache. And then he was laying with me, and then come nighttime, I like let him go potty or whatever, and then he just looked at me and he barked, and then he jumped off the bed, stared at me at the door,
That's
and then
funny.
ran off and went straight into your room.
That's funny. He just
barked.
he wanted you to know.
Yeah, where he was, and then he looked, and then he ran off, and then I thought he was going to go get some water, but then I heard that one bark, and I said, that little fucker
That's
went straight
funny.
to me, Mom.
That's funny.
Every time he gets up to get water with you, that's just because it's you. It's not because he wants water.
Right.
He never
Like he
does that
doesn't
with
do
either
that
of us.
ever.
Never.
He just makes me get up with him?
Yep.
He just wants you to be his biatch. Because he does
doesn't do that.
not.
If you guys make you guys
Not
get up
at
to the
all.
water.
No,
he
he
won't
never
stand
does
at the
that.
door and wait for you guys to walk
No.
out the room with him.
No.
Really?
No.
Not for water. To go
I
potty,
mean,
yeah.
he does do. You've seen that though. I'll
Yeah.
come down.
But
He
he
just gets
doesn't-
water.
Tiff, he doesn't
Yeah.
even do that really to go
That's
pee.
crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah, he just knows.
that I'm gonna do
Got
it.
you wrapped.
Right. I'm
Wrapped.
his bitch.
Wrapped.
And I do. I get up and I go down. We get water. He drinks it. And we go back upstairs, lay down and go to bed.
Right.
But he'll wait for me at the door to go out.
I'm sure. Yeah, because he knows.
Let it all go.
He knows that him and I are going to ignore him.
Right,
So he
but I
doesn't do
don't.
it.
Yeah, I
That's
don't. though.
funny. Well, in conclusion, do you have anything that you want to say to wrap this up?
No,
Because if
that's it.
there-
We're just bringing a little bit of awareness about health concerns. And if anybody has any comments or has anything that they would like to bring to the table
Yeah.
about that, please let us know. Because
Yeah, we want to know.
I'm definitely handling up on this shit with my health stuff. I'm not just letting it just be.
Right.
I'm definitely going to do what's necessary and
Yep.
let's talk to somebody about it.
And Mom's camera just died, by the way. So
Okay.
we
Awesome.
Oh, well, please like and subscribe from the inside out.
And share.
Share, please.
Share it.
Any comments, anything you guys have to say, we love to
love
hear
you.
them.
We love
And
you.
Appreciate
we're
you guys.
communicators, so we're down to communicate with you.
exactly submit any kind of questions or comments that you'd
Yeah.
like to voice, and if you
Let
like
us know
them,
what you want to hear and see too, because we come up with some great stuff, and we're going to have a bunch of people on too. But let us know what you want to see and talk
Yeah,
about.
but as soon as we figure out the whole camera situation, we'll be able to upload, or where we can actually have them, the inmates on the show. I have a lineup of them that want to talk and share their stories as well. And I'm sure my mom's got plenty of people that want to talk about their life and what it's like with the grandchild that,
and
if their
even before the
people are in
grandchild,
incarceration.
and
Yeah.
even before the
Yeah,
grandchild
perfect. Well,
stuff.
Yep. Anyway, so thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up, and we look forward to seeing you next week
from the inside out.
from the inside out.
From the inside out.